In Greek mythology, the Minotaur is a creature with the head of a bull and the body of a man. The story began after King Minos ascended the throne of the island of Crete. He competed with his brother to rule, so he prayed to Poseidon, the sea god. Poseidon sent him a snow-white bull, the Cretan Bull, as a sign of support. Minos would have to kill the bull to show honor to the deity, but finally he decided to keep it instead because of its beauty, and he used another cow to replace. Maybe he thanked God Poseidon don't mind. Oh, but no, the sea god was extremely angry and decided to punish Minos. Poseidon made Minos' wife fall deeply in love with the bull. Later, the queen had craftsman Daedalus make a hollow wooden cow, and climbed inside it to mate with the beautiful white bull. And the result is the birth of Minotaur. Terrible, ferocious and cruel monster. Minotaur has caused horror to the islanders of Crete. So King Minos ordered Daedalus made a maze to hold the Minotaur. Every year, Minos brought 7 boys and 7 girls into maze for Minotaur eating. Perseus, after hearing the king's cruelty employment, he decided to destroy the monster. When he came Crete Island, Adrian, the daughter of King Minos, was fall in love with Perseus, so she decided to guide for the hero into the maze to fight with monster. After a fierce battle, Perseus defeated the beast. But to reciprocate the love of Adrian, he chose Phaedra, one of the other king's daughter, to be his wife. Sadly for Adrian. In Greek mythology, Medusa was one of 3 sisters demon, known as the Gorgon. Includes Steno, Ariel, and Medusa. Of 3 sisters, Medusa is the youngest, most ferocious demon, and she was also the only one who can be killed, while her sister were immortal. There were several different legends about Medusa. Previously, Medusa was a beautiful woman, lovable, and her hair is extremely charming. So she was very proud of her beauty, and even she thought she was more beautiful than Athena, gods of war, the capital Athens' guardian. Medusa's beauty has attracted Poseidon, the sea god. Medusa ran to Athena's temple, and she thought Athena would protect her from Poseidon. But life is not like a dream. Poseidon raped Medusa in the temple of Athena. Some other legends said that Medusa has voluntarily, and they coupled in Athena's temple, a terrible violation of a sacred place. Although Medusa pleaded Athena, but Athena still cursed Medusa with snakes for hair, a body of a dragon, and a face that turned those who looked at her to stone. Even monster Kraken was petrified when saw Medusa's eyes. From then on, Medusa has become the most terrible female demon. No one dared come near. However, there is one interesting thing. It's absolutely Medusa never hurted women. After that, Medusa killed by the hero Perseus, son of Zeus, the most powerful gods on Olympus. Perseus is equipped with the shield of Athena, the shoes of Hermes' wing, and the sword of Hephaestus. By looking at the image of Medusa on the shield's mirror, the demigod defeated her. Very sorry for Medusa. The Chimera was a hybrid monster in Greek mythology. child of Typhon and Echidna, and sibling of Cerberus and the monster Hydra. It had the head and body of a lion, as well as the head of a goat that was attached to its back, and a tail that ended on the head of a snake. It could breathing fire, and a terrifying monster. Everything will be nothing, and the Chimera maybe could have a peaceful life, if Bellerophon has not appeared. According to Greek mythology, Bellerophon was the son of Arinom and Poseidon. According to legend, Bellerophon unintentionally killed a man and then he ran to the land of Turins to hide the crime. Unfortunately, the queen of this country, Antea, was fall in love with the young man. So, when her husband was away, Antea devoted Bellerophon, but he refused. Feeling angry, Antea has slandered Bellerophon with the king that Bellerophon devoted Antea when the king was away. Later, Bellerophon was sent to hunt Chimera, and everyone thought that he would be killed by the monster. Bellerophon rode winged horse, Pegasus, to find the Chimera. At first, he used his spear and stabbed the monster continuity. But, Chimera unharmed. It constantly erupted fire toward him. When he saw hot flames erupt from the mouth of monster, Bellerophon got an idea that used the tail of spear, poked the throat of Chimera. Hot flames make the tail of spear was melted, and then running down the throat of the monster, and therefore, it fell to death. So easy.
In Greek mythology, Hydra is one of the most horrible monsters and the most difficult to beat. Hydra had the body of a serpent with 7 or 9 heads. Some versions think it had up to 17 heads. It was the monster that Zeus's wife sent to the earth to slay Hercules, Zeus' private son. It was this war that made the fame of Hercules after that. Before coming to the main part of the labor, Top Show would like to introduce some parameters of the two opponents. About Hercules, he was Zeus' private son, so he had miracle strength. Besides that, he had armor and a lion hat, which he took over in the labor before with the lion from Nemea. Total strength, 8/10. About Hydra, with the advantage of having many heads, it had a super widened vision with not any blind spot. Its blood, which was poisonous, could make people die if unluckily stuck with it. Also, the stench from the Hydra's breath was enough to kill man or beast. Besides that, it had the ability of growing heads. If any of the other heads were severed, another 2 would grow in its place. In general, Hydra could totally defeat Hercules. Total strength, 10/10. It was such a tricky situation for Hercules. With his sword, Hercules attacked the many heads of the Hydra, but as soon as he smashed one head, 2 more would burst forth in its place. From top to toe, he could not defeat the Hydra in this way. It just made everything become worse. Hercules called on his nephew Aeolus for help. His nephew then came upon the idea of using a firebrand to scorch the neck stumps after each decapitation. And each time Hercules cut off each head, Aeolus cauterized the open stumps, so it couldn't grow back. Hercules finally chopped off the 9th, immortal head. Later, he used arrows dipped in the Hydra's poisonous blood, thing that could even kill immortals.
Typhon was an outlandish demon because of his monstrous appearance. According to many documents, his human body was so large that he extended beyond all the mountains. While his head often touched even the stars, a whole body was great storms and whirlwinds. Typhon was a fire-breathing monster, with arms were dragon heads, and all of his body was winged. Typhon was a terrible, outrageous and lawless demon, who was known as father of all kinds of monsters. This came from not only because of his gigantic size, but also because his offsprings were the most fierce monsters. From Chimera, part lion, part goat, and part snake, to Hydra, the 9-headed serpent who grew 2 new heads for every one that was cut off, and Cerberus, the 3-headed dog that guards the entrance to Hades. Typhon was an offspring of Gaia, the earth, and Tartarus, the hell. He was appointed to fight with Mount Olympus to release the Titans, fight back to Zeus to become king of gods and human. The war on Mount Olympus could be divided into 2 rounds. In the first round, gods of Mount Olympus faced the monster by fleeing to Egypt in panic, all except Zeus. Some documents said that Poseidon and Hades came back to fight along with Zeus. In this unbalanced war, Typhon had cut off Zeus' sinews from his hands and feet to prevent him from using his thunderbolts, Zeus' most deadly weapon. After some time, Hermes and Pan, god of wild and hunting, used music to win Typhon and took back Zeus' sinews. In the second round, when the sinews were restored to Zeus, he returned to fight Typhon with his thunderbolts, and hurted the monster by blasting his thunderbolts at Typhon, before burying the creature under Mount Etna. The heat and power of Typhon turned Etna into a huge volcano, which brought enormous disasters to normal people. Luckily, although with all of his effort, Typhon still was trapped under the mountain's weight.